Hi there, so we just won our opening game of the Premier League season against Wolverhampton 2-0. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, so it was routine stuff. Wolves are a decent enough outfit. They're not a great side, but they're a decent enough Premier League team. They've been there for a while, so wrapped it up. It didn't cause much threat. We had one great save there from the keeper, Raya. Yeah. When Kai Havertz scored again. So what we need to realise is Kai Havertz playing up front now. He's not playing in midfield. If he'd started up front last year, from August, who knows?
Yes, this season, do you think he's a player that's capable of scoring 20 plus goals?
Well, you take into account from Christmas, he scored about 10 goals. So I say it's not even Christmas, because from January onwards, he scored about 10 goals. Let's just say it could be 8. I haven't got the stats for him. It could be 12, but I think it's about 10. I think it's more. If it's going to be one of the others, it's going to be 8. But he scored 10, and he didn't actually play all the games up front in one of those games. In one game, he played midfield. So, going by that basis, stats are for practice anyway. But going by that basis, he could potentially score 20 goals.
Okay, and people say that we need that physical presence up front, but Kai Havertz is a big, strong guy.
Kai
saw him getting a header today.
Kai Havertz is physical and present. When people think physical, they think of the late great Kevin Campbell. They think Drogba. They think physical, muscle and bustle, hustle and bustle. Les Ferdinand. They think that's all physical, but he wins headers and he causes different kind of problems for players.
Yeah, and then we saw our star boy today, Saka, got the assist for Havertz's goal, scored him a second goal. Such a great player, still young, just going to get better and better.
Yeah, Saka is an amazing player. There's a big difference between Saka on one side and Martinelli on the other side. And what I mean is Saka's all raw talent. He's just raw talent. It comes natural. He does what it does. And then you have Martinelli, who's got to work. He's got great amount of talent, but doesn't come naturally. I refer that to the Roger Federer, to the Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal, great player. He's got 110%, and that's why he's got so many injuries. Whereas Federer, it just comes naturally on the eye.
Okay. Just looking at the defence as well today, we saw there's a few sloppy mistakes. First game of the season, so there's going to be some rustiness, but our defence is so solid, and as you mentioned, Raya's save when he was needed, he done really well.
Well, I got this shirt. Person who bought it for me said, "What name do you want on the back?" So we've got Gabriel on the back, and then a few days later we signed a man from Italy. So, but basically, what he's done today is he didn't mess about like he did the start of last season. Last season, he didn't win the league last season, the season before, so Mikel Arteta thought he had to do something different, because, be real, Arsenal did bottle it, but he thought, I'd have to try something different. Sometimes you don't need teams just better than you. So he put Partey at right back, dropped Gabriel, and was playing this, that, and the other. And then Partey got injured, which was not a good thing, but it was a good thing in this sense was to put Gabriel back in the middle, because you've got two very, very, very good defenders there. You've got Gabriel, who showed the aggression today, should have been cautioned. The 2000s are always in your face, and when he's always telling you what to do. And then you've got Saliba, who looks great on the eye, who's your modern day centre half. Whereas your Gabriel's and Martin Keown's get stuck in, and when he's always reliable. Now, against Wolves at home, we could have played Zinchenko, but we got Timber. I always worry about when your third choice centre back is your first choice right or left back. That always worries me a little bit, because then you've got to move him into centre back. He's not been playing centre back, and then you've got to put someone else at right back. So it looks like he's taking sort of a Pep Guardiola stance, having just put centre backs along the line, because you're going to put 4 centre backs along the line, and then because you've got Tomiyasu, who's 6 foot plus, who can play centre back as well. Timber, who can play centre back, right or left back, and the guy from Italy. He's a left back but can play centre back. So I think, go and do a survey of Arsenal fans. Which position do you need to strengthen in? Nobody would have said keeper last year. Nobody would have said this. Nobody would have said that. But nobody would have said a centre back. But we're at the stage, we're in the situation where we can sign players, but you've got to get rid of players as well. So this situation where a lot of clubs are doing now is they're signing players with the obligation of buying them. And we did that last year. And then the clubs are thinking it's a great deal there and then, but come the following summer, what if that player's not had a great season? You're still obliged to pay 30 odd million back. You're still, and what I'm going to say is I'm really old now myself, so basically, once upon a time, Arsene Wenger said we can go the whole season unbeaten. That's what Arsene Wenger said, and 2 seasons later went the whole season unbeaten. Now, Mikel Arteta was asked this year, you can make your own minds up, but he was asked this year, what would it take to beat Man City? And he said, tongue-in-cheek, 114 points. So, well, I know he's never going to probably achieve that, but he said that tongue-in-cheek. When Arsene Wenger said it a few years ago about going the whole season unbeaten, did anybody say it? Now, some people diss it, say there was 12 draws, a lot of draws in there. I say, well, it's not a great, don't worry about it. We can get 100 points, but teams won't be talking about that in 100 years' time when I'm hopefully still here, who knows. But they won't be talking about that, but they will be talking about this because I said to opposition fans, it's not very good that. Just I said to Man United, Liverpool, Man City fans, that's not a great deal. Just let your club go and do it. And Liverpool got to February, they didn't just lose, they got spacked up by Watford 3-0.
Alright, cool. So next we have got Aston Villa, a team that took 6 points off us last season, caused us a lot of problems.
It's not about the 6 points because I've got a big grudge with Villa. It's not so much they took Emery was just the wrong man at the wrong time coming in after Arsene Wenger. So, and he couldn't really speak the language and didn't do it. 4 days before we played Aston Villa last year, he goes and plays Man City. And he rests a minimum of 5 players. 5 players, he rests, could be 6. He rests 6 players, 6 first team players who played all season. Then decided, playing Man City, I'm not saying he threw the game, but he's thinking, I'm not going to win against Man City. So he rested all those players. Then when he came back to Arsenal the following week, and he brings all those fresh legs in, first team players, and they go and do a number on us. And not only that, he's lost last game of the season 5 or 6-1. So we owe Aston Villa. And Aston Villa could possibly do what Newcastle done last year, in their second season getting the Champions League. Because they could finish 6th or 7th. But we owe Aston Villa because they took the mickey out of us by resting the players. Several years ago, Newcastle, or it could have been a club rested 11 players, they got fined. Nothing happened to Aston Villa. But I think we can win the league this year, and I finish on this point. Even if we get 130, we manage to get 114. If we don't win the league this year, Mikel Arteta, unless he wins the Champions League. So if he wins the Champions League, we get a pass. If he doesn't win the league this year, it's time for him to go. And I think we can win it. It's our time.